Hello, we are here with our spiritual son, Brother Ernest Brown, and we're sharing because there's some awesome and powerful things that the Lord is doing with him and throughout the state of Georgia. He has a powerful testimony, and he has been selected to actually go throughout the state of Georgia to share this testimony. And on December the 31st at Kingdom Church International, he will be sharing the full testimony, and not just sharing the full testimony because he's also a preacher of the gospel. And then he's going to be our speaker, our special guest speaker on that morning, which is our Friends and Family Day. That's December 31st, starting at 10 a.m. And I just want to go ahead and give you the invitation, especially if you're out there in the YouTube land or the Facebook land, and you have been viewing some of our videos. This is your invitation to come and to be a part of one of our live worship services as we finish 2018 strong. We got an amazing vision on for 2019 that we're also going to be sharing December 31st. I'm so glad to have Brother Earnest, my spiritual son, with us. And so, son, I just want to start by just asking you a question first. Share with us your job and what you do on your job.
Well, first of all, I work with Highland Rivers, and my job is basically consists of just working with individuals who are maybe homeless, individuals who are experiencing depression, some type of mental illness, things of that nature right there, individual who's dealing with drug addiction, substance abuse, whatever the nature may be. That's what I'm dealing with. And my particular job is to actually come with that individual, help that individual, support them, link them to resources, link them to information that will help them in their recovery.
Right.
Things of that nature right there.
Well, that's awesome because you wasn't what they called qualified through college and all that stuff and getting this job. How did you end up getting this job?
Well, it was because of my wife. They was actually looking for a position. The agency, they realized that they needed somebody that actually had some lived experiences. There's one knocking the fact that anybody with education or anything like that, but They needed somebody to be able to go into the field, into the community, and to reach somebody that had the same lived experience, because what they're realizing is peers are relating to those who have had similar experiences.
Right.
And so when my wife was leaving our river, she told them about me and what the Lord was doing in my life and where I came from. And that sort of kind of gave them some interest, and they called me and just told me to send my story in and give a testimony. I wrote it, sent it in. They called me for an interview, and I got the job. And they was blown away because they said this is the type of value that we need in our community to reach others.
Right. So you get the job, and you minister to men, right?
Yes,
you minister to men, and so you get the job, and you're going along, and you're all over Georgia, and then they come and they ask you for your testimony. And my understanding that many gave their testimony, but there was only 3 people that they was going to choose to actually go around the state of Georgia to share their testimony. Can you share with us, because on the 31st, he's going to share that full testimony, but can you share with us a little bit of that testimony of your road to recovery?
Well, my road to recovery was a little different than what we would actually call the norm. And what I say about the norm, this is not knocking anybody's other pathway to recovery. But my testimony, I had the same similar experience. I was dealing with the homicidation, suicide ideation, all of that type of stuff. And that was every day of my life from a young boy all the way up.
Wow.
I was dealing with, I witnessed a lot of abuse in my home. I actually became a product of my own environment growing up and didn't realize that until I got older. And so what it led me actually self-medicating. It started out with alcohol, opened up the door for marijuana, from marijuana to more what we call today times the harder substance such as cocaine and things like that right there. And but it also led me into going into another. It opened up another side of my life. I was in and out of prison, in and out of jail, and that was as a young boy all up through my teenage years, practically after I got out of high school.
Right.
But what happened with me, I never did get introduced to an NA or AA, or I never had any knowledge of a long-term facility treatment or anything like that. What I remember doing is the night that I really got to the end of my life, and you got to understand, this is the night when I had the cars, I had the money, and I also had 2 or 3 girlfriends. I'm throwing that in there because many times we think those things right there are the things that help us to get through our darkest hour, but it really don't. It actually complicates things. And so when all of that happened, and I got to a place where none of that was fulfilling me, that's the first. I remember the first night I really went hard at contemplating suicide. And I was so afraid of pulling the trigger that night. But what I did do, I took the drug of my choice, and I tried to overdose that night. But for some reason, the Lord will not let me die that night. I never forget that night. My heart was beating real fast, and I just cried out to him, if you're the God that everybody say you are, then save me from me. And shortly after that, I ended up in jail. And what was so different about it, I was up in there for 18 months, and I've never been locked up in a county jail for 18 months. Most of the time it's in and out of prison, but that's exactly what the Lord, that was part of his plan. And I didn't realize that till on down the road. And that's pretty much where I actually got a conversion. That's why I say, it's one thing to confess him, but it was nothing to get a conversion. And to know that God came and visited me. And when I got out, that the whole 18 months, I spent time reading my word, crying out, faith. I mean, it was different. The outside didn't change, but something happened on the inside. I couldn't identify with it. But after the 18 months, I never went back. I didn't have a desire to go back to the drugs. I didn't have a desire to go back to the old playgrounds. The only thing that was there that what the Lord had to burn out was the relationships. And that was the last thing that he burned out of me, was the old relationships. But after that, I never looked back. And through all of that time being locked up, and didn't realize God was burning it out of me, I didn't realize that I was getting the treatment that I need for the addiction. I didn't realize that the wound that I had as a young boy was being sealed. And so the Lord did a lot of work on the inside. I would say it like this, just to be more clear about it. In other words, the things that had me bound, those changed for broken to keep me from going back. So when I got out, that's when I came to Brian Chaplin, and I've been walking with the Lord ever since.
Awesome. That's amazing. And so, as you heard, his testimony is he got suicidal, even actually tried to take his life. And the thing about it is, especially in our community, in our culture, we don't think that suicide thoughts is real, and we don't think that we don't get depressed and stuff like that, and all that stuff goes on. And so your testimony is that it was the Lord that brought you out, and so check this out. On December 31st at 10 a.m. he's going to share his full testimony. And if you're dealing, or you've been dealing with something like that, suicidal thoughts, you've been dealing with
depression, substance abuse, that you're using to try to self-medicate yourself to actually deal with the inner battles. I would love to be able to share that, because there is a method. I mean, there is a pathway for delivery. Deliverance.
Yes. A pathway, and something you said there. You said basically abuse of drugs, alcohol, relationships is really just self-medication.
Yes,
of trying to really heal yourself from the outside in, and it never works.
It never works. And I add this as we close, and not knocking the job. What makes the job so significant, and why I say it's God sent, is because many times we're searching for a way out, and so we'll pretty much settle what man says. And it's not knocking the jobs or the things to do, because God placed the job there. And at the same time, but I really do believe that He'll place people in the position to be able to reach people. And I just feel like I'm one of the most blessed and fortunate ones to be able to come in and share where your true recovery takes place and your deliverance is going to take place at.
So that's December 31st at Kingdom Church International. We start at 10 a.m. with praise and worship. You're going to be able to hear Brother Earnest Brown is going to share his testimony, and then he's going to preach the word of God to us, which is also a part of recovery and a part of your deliverance.
Yes, sir.
And so if you know some folk like that, if you're one of them, listen, you come. We're going to be sharing about the vision for 2019, relaunching the kingdom. It's just going to be an awesome and mighty day on that day. And so we just want to invite you to come out. And I want to thank my son, spiritual son, Brother Earnest Brown. And let me tell you, the company he's working for is sending him all over the state of Georgia to share this testimony.
Yes.
And the Lord was like, or even I felt like, it would be wrong for him to be all over the state of Georgia and not share it right here in the great city of Rome, Georgia that we live in. And so I'm really excited about that. He's our life class, which was given to be life answer class. Men's teacher on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Well, on that day we get somebody to substitute for you on that day. So come on out, be a part. It's going to be an amazing time in the Lord. And who knows, this might be the beginning of your final recovery. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, David.
Appreciate it. Okay.